there's a scary amount of people who, like, way more than I thought, who are like, no, we know what we're doing.
There's a lot of pro-socialists nowadays.
No,
that's a really big movement. Okay, go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say. So when I say that they know what they're doing, they don't actually know what they're doing. They, but they think that communism and socialism is the utopia.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
This is how we get to a perfect society.
So remember Mechanical for Leibowitz, where everything cycled all the way through, where they destroyed each other in a nuclear war, and it's basically 1,500 years later, and you're at the same point, and they destroy each other in a nuclear war. Yeah. I think we've gone through the 100 years since the Bolshevik Revolution, and in 1989 the wall came down, and you guys weren't born.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's a whole generation plus that thinks that's a fairy tale,
right?
Or that says, okay, no, that was political Russia's. They screwed it up. I'm talking about
it was a long time ago.
I'm talking about real communism. I'm talking about Marxist communism, not the Russian thing. And this is real. And all of us old guys are going, wait a second.
This already happened.
It didn't work too well. But then you get the Bernie Sanders who are old, and then when you say, like Mike Bloomberg in the debates, Democratic debates, he said, well, we tried communism already, it didn't work. And Sanders was like, whoa, I'm against any totalitarianism. I'm talking about socialism.
Yeah, well,
like it's the same flipping thing.
Literally. And that's what I was going to say, is that I've heard a lot that...
but he comes out and says, I'm a socialist.
Yeah. But I've also heard where people go like, well, what about China? They're socialists. Like, okay, well, that's not like socialism done perfectly. And the problem is that there's not been a time in history where anybody has done communism or socialism perfectly. And that's what we need to do, is do it perfectly, where everybody agrees on it and everybody's for the same.
They have not run animal farm.
Exactly. But I think
it can't be done that way.
Yeah. And
the fallen human nature doesn't allow it.
Right. Yeah. And I think the ironic part is that Matt Fred was talking about this in this podcast, is that they're anti-capitalist. Most of these people are like, well, capitalism doesn't work. We've done it for a while. It's obvious. Right. And then you can make the same argument. They're like, well, I'm talking about a perfect capitalism, a capitalism that everybody's on board for. There's an Acton Institute arm that does argue that kind of, right? Yeah.
That does say, wait a second, there is a perfect form of classical liberalism, capitalism.
Yeah, there is.
And we're just not there.
The whole free markets and
free market. So maybe it's just as, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. That one guy, Bitcoin and everything. I can't remember his name.
Yeah. Jeffrey,
mattress dude.
Yeah. We went to a conference and this guy was...
and he's like, I'm not paid to talk about these mattresses, but these mattresses are the best. Let me give you their card.
Jeffrey Tucker.
Yeah, Jeffrey Tucker,
right?
Yeah. But yeah, or the whole, like, the free market, it's idealism. Honestly, it's just an idealist thought, is that if we do the free market and everything's completely free, the free market will take care of itself. Well, what about like, roads and interstates and stuff like that? Like, the free market will take care of it.
Right.
What about regulations? The free market will take care of it. Like, it's just this, I think it's the same thing with this idea of communism and socialism, that if we're all on the same boat, we're just all going to take care of each other, and everybody's just going to agree, nobody's going to abuse the power, and then nobody's going to abuse the power. Right. And it's like, well, all the people work. But all those people will be dead. Yeah, exactly. All the evil socialists, they'll all be
just
dead.
Like in the Bolshevik Revolution, we killed the Tsar and his ministers, right?
Yeah,
and so they're all gone. So only the good folks are left. Mm-hmm. And then someone goes, "Oh, here's an opportunity for me to take over."
Well,
and that's humanity.
Yep. Yeah, and the funny thing is also that what I don't think that a lot of them are thinking about is that you're going to get to a point, let's say you have 4 kids and you work a full-time job and all that stuff and you're a socialist or whatever, and then you're going to go, I don't really have time to vote and go to the town hall every Tuesday and discuss these problems. So I'm just going to pick this guy to do it. And we're all going to agree that this guy should do it. And then he's going to go, yeah, I'll do it for you. And then you're just going to slowly start to devolve in either capitalism or dictatorship.
You've got it. That's a really good point.
Yeah, which I don't think they're thinking about. They're in this utopic idea, like what you're talking about, that is that we're all going to be constantly motivated to work for the common good and for the state or whatever, and the idea is that the state's not going to control us, we're going to control us. But then you become the state, then you elect the state, and the state's controlling it. I mean, the only difference between a state and not a state is a word, and if you're calling yourself the state or not the state, because you quickly devolve into the state.
That's the democratic socialism. Yeah. No, we're all a part of it, so it's all one big leviathan.
It becomes this.
And actually, the sociology studies have shown that anything up to 150 people, you can actually probably maintain that.
Yeah.
Like early Christian communities.
Well, I was going to say, monasteries do like a communism
it's a commune.
Yeah, besides that there is and I mean, there is a dictator of sorts.
There is a rule that everybody agrees we're going to abide by, but it allows for. I mean, if there are abuses, the abuses will, But you're right; it does work for that because everybody's there. We're all on the same page. I'm here for the same reason you are. Yeah. I signed up for the same thing. After about 150 people, factions start to break out. We say, well, I actually don't agree with that. I think we should do it this way. And that's even happened in monasteries. That's why you have the Trappists and the Benedictines that comes out of it, right? They start to break out. But it's been proven that in anything above 150 people, roughly, it ain't going to work. It is just not going to work. But you're right. You're absolutely right, Will. They think it's a democratic idea. They don't think through it. Going back to your sheep idea, everybody's just following along. That makes sense. Yeah, man.
Right.
That makes sense.
And I haven't read anything about it. I just heard one guy.
I heard we live in soundbite. We live in soundbite world. Nobody wants to go past the soundbite. And, didn't read Society. And I'm not going to read past the soundbite. All I care about is how I feel.
And we're on Twitter too much to actually think about, well, is this a good idea, and what are the repercussions of this, and what are the implications, and how does this trickle down 5 years down the road and stuff like that. It's like, well, that sounds like a good idea. Now back to Kim Kardashian.
Yeah, that's right.
And you don't actually think about it. And then when somebody brings it up, I go, well, what do you think about socialism? They're like, well, I think it's a great idea because they heard Joe Schmo talk about it last week, and all they know is that he said that I get free college and I don't have to pay my student debt anymore. Yeah. It's like, well, that's fantastic. I'm a socialist. That's all it is.
Right. Yeah, and they're repeating the sound bites, repeating the propaganda talk, but nobody's thought through it.
No one.
Well, there's a huge part who are thinking through it.
Yeah.
And they're all conservatives. Yeah.